And we start with a game between Maxim, who plays black, and Timo, who took white. Maxim went back to his one of his favorite opening moves, O Takamoku, 6-4. That's a very interesting play. It's difficult to approach such a move. White approached with this technique, then black attached, and what we would usually expect would be just going to the corner, I believe. It's also possible to hane, but then who knows what happens after black cuts. Maybe such a simple variation is all right for white? Perhaps, but just descending to the corner makes sense. It's like a 3-3 Joseki. White had 3-3, right? I will put with letters. White had a stone at A, then black played at B. White plays C, D, E, F, G, H. This is a Joseki shape. And of course, white is happy to get such a result because in this game it was black who had the first stone in that corner, and still white got a result like in a Joseki where it is white who has the first stone. Another possibility for black is to go like this. It also looks like a Joseki after 4-4 and 3-3 invasion, unless white tries something sharper. It should be possible to try something sharper, yes. In the game, white played this move, and it might lead to a complicated fight. My first intuition was to cut. But how do we continue? If we connect, white captures the stone. So to not die with that stone, we should play this Atari first. Another possibility would be pushing from one side or the other, but this is usually not recommended. This leaves too much weakness. So like this, white should be satisfied with the result, I believe, even though it's difficult to say what exactly will happen in the corner. But the usual way is not pushing, but playing Atari. And then, if black connects, white already cannot capture black in a ladder. But white can live in the corner. And unfortunately for black, the ladder doesn't work. This is a big issue because this means that black is split. Here, let's connect to be sure that we live. Yeah, so maybe like this. We might think about such a move, but then white has a possibility of simply sacrificing the two stones. Or maybe block from this side, which is the sharpest move, but also the most risky one. Again, black has no ladder and has a cutting point here. But maybe black can even descend. Can black do this? This would be good for black, but there are many more variations. So we explored a few variations after black's cut, but in the game, happy to see you, Simeon, here, and you're welcome. You can, of course, stay for the next reviews. This one is still in English. The next ones will be already in Polish. White went in, and then black plays Atari from the outside and blocks. So at this moment, white has a simple way to just take the corner. Maybe black continues, but I think that white will also continue. I think that white can be satisfied with the result. White can also descend. Then black can play maybe like this, or maybe just play on the other side. But in the game, black. In the game, white played the cut and then here. Yes, I see. So it all ends up like in a 4-4 invasion variation, right? So let's say that black has a stone here, white invaded, then tap, tap, black went up, and we get into this shape, and then white plays this cut. Looks all right, but in fact, white was not aware that it's not really a Joseki shape. In the Joseki, we have the AB exchange for white. If the exchange is not there, then white's correct move is not to cut at C, but to cut at D. Cut at D. It's a bit confusing, I guess. So let's put it in the other corner. If we have a Joseki like this, then indeed the most common move is this cut. It's a so-called flying dagger Joseki. But if black simply bumps, then first of all, usually white blocks, but if white wants to go into a fight, then black should not cut here. The correct cut is there. Right now, black does not have that AB exchange, and black is more free to play other moves on the outside. Maybe something like this. But it might seem that why not? We can also cut. The exchange is not there, but it shouldn't be a problem. If we need that exchange, we will make it one day. But for now, why do we need that exchange? It looks like a bad exchange, right? AB is usually an exchange which black would not make, but it's a bit misleading what it seems to be. So we get this position, black descended, white went up, black blocked. Instead of blocking though, let me understand a bit. Instead of blocking, black has another option. Black can turn. And now, if the exchange was made, white would have had a very simple variation capturing black's cutting stones, and this would be very good for white. But the exchange is not there, and white cannot count on getting it now. If white plays here, black can push. If white extends, black can hane. Live in the corner. Sorry. This result already seems not bad for black. Something like this. Maybe tiger's mouth is better. Or maybe now we can hane here. This might be the best. Yeah. Though it looks like one of these variations of the flying dagger Joseki, but a bit different. A bit the same, a bit different. Anyway, without the exchange is a bit tricky for white. White cannot also play in this order because then black will be happy capturing the two stones. So this should be the strongest move of black in that variation. And it would not be available if the exchange was made. So remember that without the exchange, white shouldn't really cut at C. And the correct cut is at D. Anyway, black pushed now, but this led to the same variation as in the Joseki, just without the AB exchange, which is by itself a bad exchange for white. So white was satisfied with this result. And also black didn't play perfectly here, playing all these center moves right away. Isn't it better to simply connect and keep the other moves as cut threats? Anyway, white will not play here for sure. And black can also play differently if black wants one day. Maybe this move will be needed one day. So it was incorrect to play all these centers. Also, might be better to simply play here. If white goes there, then we don't need to turn, do we? We can play elsewhere. Maybe the right side is the most important. And if white tries to get more, then, well, white's shape is not perfect. White needs to be very careful. Black can get even stronger shape if white tries to push. So it's not easy for white to choose a move. Black moves were too straightforward. It didn't give white any chance for making a mistake. And yeah, black finished and got for sure white is better with this final result. White continues with the invasion, makes sense. That is also a big move, yes. And this as well. Black answers to white's approach in a very proper way. Extend on the other side, yes. Indirectly strengthen the corner. White also strengthens that shape. Black plays from the other side, and this is a wrong move. No, you shouldn't play here. If it goes like this, it's already a good exchange for black. This approach is not about sliding in. It's about going further to D, or if D is not available, like right now, because black is already too strong thanks to that supporting stone, then white should consider such a move. And then attach, Atari, double tiger's mouth, and again tiger's mouth. This is the correct variation. Now black got a very beautiful corner, but black is a little bit over concentrated with that move at A. So this is the proper way. And this one was too easy for black, and black didn't even play at P3. Instead black played on the outside. This was also an interesting and probably good strategic choice. White was forced to make life around here, within here, but black finished with an enormous influence. By the way, play here. Why do you make that A-B exchange? Maybe later you prefer to play at B. And anyway, if black plays at S2, right? At S2, this is the correct move of black. So right now you keep that other option open. So this was a slight inaccuracy by white. Then black plays from the top. Yes, of course, makes sense to put pressure on the white's group. Interesting cut. White hoped to get that one, but black didn't agree on such a result. Yeah, this was probably well played by black. Good answer. But then white also finds a way to somehow strengthen the shape. Play on the outside. The outside is more important. Right now, black played that cut and created a very beautiful moyo. If I was black, I would simply extend to not get any weaknesses in the shape. Why would we? Why would we get these weaknesses? Yeah, in the game it's like this, but then black's moyo is not as powerful. The only advantage can be that now we might try to kill white's group thanks to that aggressive move, but white simply answered in very straightforward way and made life. Very funny that move at T13, but no hope for black to capture white. Probably better to play from the outside to at least get something more than T13 first line move. Yeah, so white lived, and white lived with quite a few points. So this was a big failure by black, and it would have been much better to extend here. Still, white would probably end up adding that move. Black attacks white, but white plays flexibly, yes. So maybe it was better to attack from here, but maybe it would be the best to first strike on that other shape of white, then black would have much more power to attack white. Now black played this move, yes, makes sense. And yeah, it was not easy for white. White tries to get stronger shape by a cut. But here black got a really, really strong shape on the outside. So this was a success for black. Maybe white should play a bit simpler. Maybe rather play like this. Though it might be also risky. So let's continue like that. We can easily sacrifice the 3 stones in the middle if we break into black's box on the top. So this cut was probably an overplay, and black got a very strong shape on the outside. And still enclosed the top side. But this capture seems not too big. It should be bigger to continue around here. Something like this. Or maybe just play here. And then maybe 3-3 invasion is the biggest. This move didn't seem so big. Black doesn't really need to be afraid about the strength of that group on the bottom of his group. First of all, he can always answer if white captures. And it's also a big move by itself. Yeah. But black had in mind that continuation in center. All right, so with that continuation, black's move is of course bigger than it initially seemed. Yes, then 3-3 invasion. All looks good for black. Makes sense. Black breaks into white's potential. Yes. And then another interesting fight happens. White descends, which is a center for black group in the corner, but then if black answers, then black gets not much from all these cuts, which black did. So maybe it was just not needed. Though, all right, cutting once shouldn't be a bad choice. Or maybe it can be a bad choice. But black decided to go for an exchange, and this is also a very flexible choice, and it might well be that the outside is just bigger than that group in the corner. But did black have a simpler way? Because it seemed that the game was good for black, so maybe black could have simply consolidated the Moyo and then make sure that the group doesn't die somehow. In the game, it was a big exchange. So now white killed the corner. It's a famous Tsumego. But there is a little of a problem for white. This group of black dies, but if black wants, black can create a bend 4 in the corner there. So for now, black should enclose white's group. If white plays elsewhere, then black is not really dead. Unfortunately for white, black is not really dead. Bend 4 in the corner is dead if it is alone, but if it is a semi, then well, here in this semi, even it will be white who needs to find the first threat. And this ko is enormous. Likely white has no threat of this size anywhere on the board. Yeah. So it means that this move of black is center. White needs to continue like this, and still it is a samedori. Still white will need to add a few more moves. So this was a very, very big move. Black should play it for sure, and then continue somewhere around here. In the game, black started in the corner, but this was not really successful because what does black get on all this? I think black would be better off trying to simply make life. The classical variation. Unless black is really afraid of dying, I see, maybe black is. But then the best choice is to simply play from these stones, which we are afraid about. And then maybe just go up is better than the variation from the game. In the game, it went like this, and I think that black doesn't get much, though in the end black managed to squeeze white, but white had time to capture black stones. And then white had a chance to break into black's territory. So now it's really last moment to play this move, or to first capture and then play here. White needs to add a move, and then we should be able to cut off white's stone. Should be able to. And even if not, we can simply play here. But then it's very, very important that we get this move in center, because it's a lot of points. It's Samedori. We need to keep white's group separated, and black did not do it. And this is what costed black the game, because before that, the game was good for black, and in the game, well, white finally was not connected, but white made twice, which is the same, meaning that there is no Samedori, and this already gave white an advantage, and white won the game. All right, this is it. This is it about this game. Let's move to the next one, and let's go back to the Polish language.